Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the tundra natural region. So, the tundra region extends beyond the Arctic Circle, that is 66.5 degree north latitude. It is highlighted in pink color here, as you can see, the whole northernmost parts. It is just above the Taiga natural region, shown in orange, which we did in the last class. Now, just like taiga, tundra also exists only in the northern hemisphere and not in the southern hemisphere. Talking about its distribution now, in North America, it covers parts of northern Alaska and northern Canada, while in Europe, it covers parts of northern Scandinavia, Greenland, Iceland, and Siberia, which is the northernmost parts of Russia. So that was its distribution. The climatic conditions here are harsher than the taiga region. You see, summers are short and cool of about 2 to 3 months. The duration of sunshine is almost 24 hours, but since the sun remains at a very low angle, the temperature varies between 2 and 10 degrees centigrades. While winters are very long and severe here, of 9 to 10 months, so temperature drops as low as minus 40 degrees centigrades. There is a continuous period of darkness in this season, which may vary from 24 hours to a little less than 24 hours. The phenomena of northern lights, which is also known as aurora borealis, is seen in winters in this region. Also, the phenomenon of midnight sun is also seen in this region only, as we had seen in earlier classes also, how this Arctic Circle completely lies in the illuminated zone where the sun neither rises nor sets on 21st of June. So that was our temperature conditions. Talking about precipitation, tundra is considered as a cold desert as it receives precipitation of less than 25 centimeters because of the cold descending air here, which cannot bring rainfall. While during summers, with the apparent migration of the sun northwards, the pressure belts also shift northwards. So this is westerlies, which we had discussed about in the last class. It shifts northwards, causing frontal rainfall in this region. While in winters, snowfall occurs, and because of low temperatures, the snow does not melt, leading to formation of thick sheets of ice. The permanently frozen ground, both in taiga and tundra, is known as permafrost. Now, such climatic conditions lead to very scarce vegetation. The vegetation here is of two types, the bush tundra and the grass tundra. The bush tundra consists of trees, dwarf trees, which have very shallow roots, such as dwarf alders, birches, junipers, willows, etc. These trees are xerophytic in nature, which can withstand drought-like conditions. Come to grass tundra. It consists of mosses, lichens, sedges, and some flowering plants. This vegetation also can survive on least moisture. It remains dormant in the winter season under the snow and comes to life in summer season. Some of the vegetation can even complete their full life cycle in the short summer season. So that was the vegetation of tundra. Now, the human response of tundra. The tundra region is quite beautiful, but it is not fit for human survival as the climatic conditions are very harsh here. So it is sparsely populated. The inhabitants of this region are known by different names in different places, like the Eskimos of North America, Lapps in Scandinavia, Samoyeds in Siberia, Yakuts in Lena Basin of Russia, then Koryaks and Chukchiks of northeast Siberia. Now we'll see their lifestyle. This is Eskimos. They have to wear such an attire because of the cold climatic conditions. They live in dome-shaped houses made of snow known as igloo and are engaged in fishing and hunting. They hunt walruses and seals through holes cut in the snow with the help of traditional weapons like harpoons. Harpoon is a spear-like weapon to which a rope is tied. Besides this, they also rear reindeers for milk, meat, and skin. They also use seal fats for heat and light. Now, that was their traditional way of living. But with modern development, their mode of life has changed a lot. Nowadays, they use rifles instead of the traditional harpoons for hunting. For making tents, they use waterproof canvas instead of the skin of seals. Kerosene lamps have replaced the fat of seals. Some of the people here do work in mines. Some even have migrated to the cities in search of jobs. The Russian government here has established reindeer farms, which also checks the indiscriminate hunting of reindeers. In some places, glasshouse cultivation can be seen by the use of greenhouse effect. This region has also strategic importance as the northern polar air routes. They serve as shortest distance between North America and Asia. As we have seen earlier, that the longitudes are great circles which serve as shortest air routes between places. And finally, there are research stations established there, such as the TERS, Tundra Ecosystem Research Station, where scientists and environmentalists, they do their research on climate and ecology. So that's all about the Tundra Natural Region. We'll meet in the next class.